And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday. The play-in tournament officially begins today. We got the Eastern Conference play-in tournament today. The Hornets and the Pacers and the Celtics and the Wizards. Celtics and the Wizards, one of those teams can claim a playoff spot. Everybody else is going to have to wait till Thursday for the last opportunity to claim the last playoff spot of the number 8 seed. So finally, basketball is back on today. Hopefully, you guys didn't go too crazy last night. We felt still fine. We were watching playoff hockey. Geez. We were watching playoff hockey last night. Our moneymaker, Washington Capitals plus 1.5 goals. It goes into overtime. Bingo, bango. They lose, but we get the goal and a half cover. So we still know hockey, folks. Just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean we don't know hockey. So, what we got on the show today, we are going to be looking at the play-in tournament games, the matchups, doing our moneymakers for that. We are going to be discussing the MVP, trying to get that locked down in today's show. And we're also going to be doing weeks 7 and 8 of the 2021 NFL season, going throughout all those games, predicting the winners of all those games, and, progressing through that as we are trying to figure out who we believe is going to win the Super Bowl before training camp starts. So we've got that all today on the show. So let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And the first one up, and I'm glad to hear this. I'm truly glad to hear this. So Myles Gaskin, the Dolphins running back, said that the Dolphins offense playbook is, quote, much different than last year. And that's so great to hear. We had Chan Gailey as our offensive coordinator, who I absolutely hated. He's done nothing in his career, folks. So I don't understand why he even wanted to come out of retirement to come out and, coach the Dolphins and be their offensive coordinator. And I don't know why the Dolphins wanted him to come out of retirement. Like, what were we getting out of that? So now that Ryan Fitzpatrick is officially gone, thank goodness Chan Gailey is officially gone as well. So let's open it up for Tua. He's going into his first full season, his second year. Let's get this man some nice deep threat passes. We've got the wide receivers for this man to go deep. We've got speedy wide receivers that hit slants and, take it to the house the last 50 yards. So this is great for the Dolphins going into the season. Chan Gailey was kind of real conservative with Tua's passing ability. All the passes were, 5 yards in or less and just kind of all predictable. So definitely a good sign here that we're hearing that this Dolphins offensive playbook is going to be much different than it was last year. Gives us hope that Brian Flores and the Dolphins are making the right decision and are really noticing what Tua can really do out on the field when he's got, weapons. And they don't even have to be A1 tier 1 weapons. They just got to be better, reliable weapons. I mean, last year I do still like Devontae Parker. I do think he's still a good wide receiver, and I really think he can be an A1 tier 1 deep threat wide receiver in this league. He just needs to stay healthy. And then our other wide receiver was like 5'9", so I mean we just did not have consistent weapons out there, and now we do this season, thank goodness, with Will Fuller and now Jalen Waddle, and we still got Devontae Parker, so we should be good. It's gonna depend on Tua. I'm believing in him. The playbook's going to hopefully kind of prioritize what he can do good, and we're looking for a successful Dolphins season. So this is the first step of having a good Dolphins year this year. The playbook's different. So we are still buying into this Dolphins team moving forward. Alrighty, a team and a coach that we definitely are not kind of, rooting for or kind of cannot even see success this season is the Lions. And every time we hear about this man, it just gets worse and worse and worse, folks. So here we go. Lions coach Dan Campbell begs for a pet lion to motivate his squad to win. Dan Campbell, man, this is exactly why we don't want him as the head coach. He's still kind of stuck in the role of motivation and just trying to kind of hype up the squad, and that's not kind of the role of the head coach. That's why he makes such a good defensive coordinator, because that's kind of what you have to do on defense. Motivate your guys. You have to get those guys, the linebackers, the corners, the safeties, you have to get them motivated to literally ram their entire bodies into other full-grown men's bodies going tens of miles an hour, fast-paced cross over the middle, that you have to go and sacrifice your body to make sure that that wide receiver or tight end, whoever is catching that ball, doesn't catch the ball. And if they do catch it, now it's your job to dislodge the ball. So you really have to, create your own momentum for these defensive players. So that's why we like Dan Campbell. That's why we liked Robert Saleh as defensive coordinators, because that's the shtick of the job, folks, to get everybody hyped, to be kind of that, big old juice head on the sideline, going crazy, jumping up and down, yelling, screaming throughout the entire game. That is kind of a role of the defensive coordinator, but that's not the role of the head coach. And Dan Campbell is still in this mindset of, hey, I got to be kind of this energy guy. I got to get everybody motivated, and that's the only thing that he is still that's the only thing that he is doing as a head coach. So these are some quotes from Dan Campbell. So here we go. New Detroit Lions coach Dan Campbell is pleading with team execs to allow him to walk around the facilities with a real-life lion, saying he's dead serious about adopting a big cat. Quote, I would love to literally just have a pet lion, just a legit pet lion on a chain, a big ass chain. The 45-year-old coach explained the thought process on Barstool Sports' Part of My Take podcast last week, saying he believes the animal could help motivate his squad to win games. And folks, no, that's not gonna motivate grown men, folks. You could get away with bringing a lion out to high school football. I mean, those kids would eat that up all day. College, they would probably still eat it up all day. Like if the Penn State Nittany Lions, if they brought an actual lion out there, you could get a couple of games out of there. But when we're talking about, grown men, in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, early 40s, like Tom Brady, this shtick, this kind of gimmick is not going to work. The players are going to see right through that, and there's no substance in this kind of act past like a 1 day of just pure shock value. And then after that, it's like, this man is still carrying around this lion on that big old chain. I mean, we're like 4 months into the season, or like 4 weeks into the season, and they're like, this man still got the lion out here. We are 0-4, and this man still we're 0-4, and this man is still walking around with the lion. The lion does not work, Dan Campbell, okay? It's never going to work. This is why you've never been a head coach, and this is why we really think this is an experimental head coaching kind of hire, and it's still not going to work out. But he gets more quotes here. Let's read them. Here we go. Quote, he really is my pet. We just walk around the building. We go out to practice. We're in 7-on-7. We're behind the kicker when he's kicking. There we are. That's what Dan Campbell wants to do. Just hide in the background with the pet lion menacing over his entire team. And that's supposed to get them motivated for some reason. Campbell added, quote, I mean, think about it. It'd be outstanding. Maybe the first day, but this is what we're talking about, that shtick, that gimmick. That's what defensive coordinators do. You can't really do that as a head coach. And I mean, you're just going to be walking around with the pet lion all 17 weeks of the NFL season. What if you go 0-15? You're still going to have that lion. Everyone's going to be like, can you put away the damn lion, please? It's not working, Dan Campbell. Teach us, coach us. You're the head coach. You're distracted by the lion 24/7 out in practice. Jared Goff's trying to learn out here, okay? He's trying to get revenge of Sean McVay. A lion intimidating everybody, knowing that if he gets off that chain, it's game over for everybody out on that field. And Jared Goff does not want that lion getting into the way of his revenge season, where he has to go and prove Sean McVay wrong this year. So I hate this Dan Campbell. Every time he opens his mouth, we like this man. It's not that we like him less. It's not personal. It's just kind of what has worked in this league for years and years and years. What has not worked in this league for years and years and years. And Dan Campbell is someone that's not going to work as a head coach. And, we just keep getting all these kind of thoughts and quotes about it. And every time he opens his mouth, it's unfortunate. But, we have to kind of drop him. And our expectations just keep getting lower and lower and lower. We knew this was a bad hire right from the rip. We know this man's history. No head coaching experience. Was the interim head coach for the Dolphins. Defensive coordinator, I think it was a tight ends coach, maybe assistant head coach with that Saints team, and it's just what are we doing out here? It's just, this is not what the head coach should be doing. And by all means, do whatever you think is going to win, but this is not going to generate wins. This is not how the head coach. And I don't want to say this isn't how the head coach is supposed to act. They're supposed to be buttoned up. I don't care about that. But this kind of nonsense, it's not going to win the respect of the team in general. Yes, it gets the defensive players hyped for maybe a game, a series or two, but that's the shtick of a defensive coordinator. All right, anything else Dan Campbell's saying here that maybe will convince us into thinking this is a good idea? All right, Campbell says he's approached team owner Sheila Ford about the plan. Oh, no. You went up to the owner of the team? If this is just a joke that, you were just throwing out there for the podcast, that's fine. I can understand that. But if you actually think this is a good plan, and then you go to the owner of the team trying to get a line, and she's like, we hired this. Who hired? Whose decision? Because nobody notified me that y'all were big on Dan Campbell, and this man is asking me for a lie-in now. The hell is going on? Go back down to the team. Do you know that we have not had like a winning season in forever? We're coming off Matt Patricia. Please, Dan Campbell, be a good head coach. Not another failed experimental hire that this Lions team just keeps on doing over and over and over and over and over again. Campbell says he's approached the team owner, Sheila Ford, about the plan, but sadly, he admitted there might be too many issues with it all to make it actually happen. Oh, you think? Quote, the problem, I don't know if PETA is going to allow that, Campbell said. Quote, that's going to be hard. Well, yes, Dan Campbell, getting an actual line is not easy. That's why nobody has lions. So that's where we're at with Dan Campbell. If you're a Lions fan, I'm sorry. I'm truly just sorry, man. Like another disastrous year with the disastrous head coach, and you just see it, and you can't do anything about it. He's there. He's gonna be there for the entire year. It's his first year. No head coach gets fired year one. Even Adam Gase never got fired year one with the Dolphins or the Jets. So expect 2 or 3 years of Dan Campbell trying to make it work, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, folks. Alrighty, let's move on here. Next story up, Cameron Hayward says the Steelers defenders, quote, are excited to have Najee Harris on the roster, saying, quote, having a guy like that can tote the rock 30 to 40 times a game really puts an ease for the defense. And yeah, this is why we're big on the Najee Harris pick. I mean, we predicted the pick, folks. We went and did our mock draft. We thought they would get Travis Etienne because we were hoping the Dolphins got Najee Harris. But, the principles still say the same, that the Steelers were going to get a running back with their first round pick. And that's exactly what happened. And that's the only spot that, is kind of very lackluster for the Steelers team. They got rid of Connor right before the draft. So they get Najee Harris, and who's my favorite running back in this year's draft class? Who, like Cameron Hayward just said here, he can run the ball 30 to 40 times a game, like a Derrick Henry-esque type of player, easing kind of the passing game, allowing Big Ben to just be a little bit of an above-average game manager, and, kind of at the end of his career, this is going to be Big Ben's last season, probably 99%. So, letting him just be the above average game manager, not kind of, overworking the arm too much because, that's what hurt him last season. And Cam Hayward has kind of a different thought about that, but we will talk about that as well in just a couple seconds. But let's keep up on this Najee Harris talk. And let's go into the quote here, and let's see what this man is saying about it. So, Steelers defensive lineman Cameron Hayward told the NFL Network's Good Morning Football that he likes how general manager Kevin Colbert and the rest of the brass handled the offseason, upgrading clear areas of need on offense. That includes using a prime asset and a workhorse running back. Quote, I think as a defender, we're most excited to have him. Having a guy like that that can tote the rock 30 to 40 times a game really puts an ease on the defense. He can do multiple things. I think the investment in our offense this offseason has been huge. So exactly what we needed here for the Steelers team. They still can be successful. And if Najee Harris is coming out year one swinging like kind of, Derrick Henry did his first year, then watch out, because this Steelers team is going to be absolutely dangerous, focusing on just the defense and the running game, exactly how we think the Titans are really going to kind of do their game plans for the entire year. Focus heavy on the defense. Let's get that out. Hold them to less than 20 points, and we're just going to be running the clock, eating up the clock, running the ball, slowing down the game, because that's how we are going to have to win the season. So I think the Steelers and Titans are really going to have identical kind of schemes overall. And then he kind of goes into Big Ben. So we can continue with this article right here. And now let's start talking about kind of Big Ben in the Steelers offense. The big narrative, we also kind of subscribe to this narrative as well, but the big narrative in the national media about Big Ben is that, the arm is aging. It was clear to see at the back half of the season. We also saw it. Cameron Hayward has a little bit of a difference of opinion here, so let's see what he's saying about this. The entire club skidded down the stretch in 2020 with the Steelers losing 5 of their final 6, including a 48-37 loss to Cleveland in the playoffs. We are going to talk about that as well. Really, really bad. Hayward admitted that the defense got worn down in part by an offense that couldn't sustain possession. Once again, couldn't sustain possession. 3 and out. Big Ben's arm couldn't get it done. They couldn't rely on the running game because James Conner, unfortunately, was not that good last year. So, quote here by Hayward. I think we lost a lot of gas as we went down that stretch. I think our balance between our offense and defense wasn't great. We weren't getting off the field as much we were earlier in the season, and then our offense couldn't sustain drives. You compound all that together, and it wasn't a great success. Going forward, I think we can keep on growing. And then this is what he has to say about Ben Roethlisberger at age 39. Quote, we know he's an explosive quarterback that can throw the ball all over the field. But I think around him, we've just got to be complementary, whether it's in offense, defense, special teams. Ben still got the goods. Anyone that tells you otherwise, they haven't really looked at football. Okay, we're going to kind of prove him wrong in a second, but let's continue on with the quote. You give that guy a good running game and tell him he doesn't have to throw the ball 50, 60 times. He's going to be much more dangerous, and I think we're looking forward to that. It's going to be pretty good longevity-wise if he wants to keep playing. And, this is exactly why we want the good running game. This is why we knew this was a home run kind of hit of a pick selection in the draft, taking Najee Harris, because Najee, having to choose between Najee Harris and Travis Etienne was really kind of simple here for the Steelers. We need a workhorse running back. Travis Etienne is good, don't get us wrong, he's very fast and he's got the speed, but Najee Harris, man, he's 6'2", he's a little beefier than Travis Etienne. He's a kind of mini Derrick Henry. He's got about the same height as Derrick Henry, a few inches shorter, I think like 2 inches shorter. Doesn't have the bulk that Derrick Henry does, but he's still able to, like Cameron Hayward said here, pound the rock 30 to 40 times a game if needed, which definitely is going to help relieve Big Ben Roethlisberger. And this is why, we are still decently big on the Steelers this season, especially if they can get their defense back right. Their defense last season, unfortunately, injuries kind of plagued them down the stretch. And like Cameron Hayward said in these quotes, the offense couldn't sustain anything. So they're going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. The defense is always on the field, never getting that break, never getting that rest, never able to kind of come together and kind of be like, all right, this is where we're getting beat. Now we've got time because the offense is going on this nice 10-play, 4.5-minute drive. Now we can kind of use this time to settle back down. They just scored 2 touchdowns on us. What are they doing right? Where are they beating us? Oh, they're beating us here. Well, we've got time to fix that on the sideline while the offense is going to work on the field. So for all those reasons, we're still big on Big Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers this season. We just need Najee Harris to work out. But let's go back in this quote a little bit here of what Cameron Hayward says, saying Ben still got the goods, and anyone that tells you otherwise, they haven't really looked at football. I get you have to say this because he's your teammate, but when we look at, the stats and the big drop-off last season, it is kind of evident when we look down at the stats. So the first kind of about 8-9 weeks of the season wasn't really throwing any interceptions. He had 4 interceptions in the first 9 weeks of the season, but 3 came from one game. So we can kind of, exclude that one game and say that, hey, he only had really 1 interception for the first 10 weeks of the season. Also, the completion percentage and yards were always solid, 65 plus basically every single game for those first kind of 9 weeks. Yards always about, 200 to 300, real solid. And the yards per attempt were always kind of solid as well. 7, 7.5, 6.5, 7, 7.3. He did have a couple of 5.4s, but, he kind of overcame that going back to 7.2, yards per attempt of every single pass that he's throwing. Until week 10, and this is where we see the drastic change here. He's throwing an interception every single game from week 10 on. 1 interception every single game. 1 interception in at week 11, game 10. Let's just say that. So week 11, ever since week 11 on, he's thrown an interception. Week 11, he threw 1. Week 12, he threw 1. Week 13, he threw 1. Week 14, he threw 2. Week 15, he threw 1. Week 16, he didn't throw any. Congratulations, but then he didn't play in week 14, week 17. And the other kind of big dominant factor that we really see, his arm depleting, he's throwing these interceptions every game, but also the yards per attempt came down to a screeching halt. He was averaging about 7 yards per average attempt every time he's throwing the ball. Until week 11, where it takes a big dip at 5.8, 5.2, 5.7, 5.0, 4.4, and then in the last game that he played in the season, where he threw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, 6.98. So the huge drop up of yards, and we can kind of take a look at his other kind of comparing him to these other good aging quarterbacks in the league and see what they were doing yards per attempt. We get Aaron Rodgers last season. His yards per attempt, he averaged 8.1 the entire season. Never threw his worst was 4.93, and then the second worst was 4.57, or those were his 2 worst. And then his third worst out of those 4 is 8. 8's his next lowest. His third lowest is like 8 something, 8.0. So all those games, he's throwing better than Big Ben just in total, and that's Aaron Rodgers. But what about Tom Brady? Older than Big Ben, but still getting it done. We just saw him win the Super Bowl. He was averaging 7.6 yards per attempt. What's his lowest? He's got a 4.5 one game, a 5.5 one game. And that's it. Then it's all 6 and above, where we just saw Big Ben Roethlisberger like 6 straight bad games of 5 yards per attempt or less in those final weeks of the season. Let's go to Phillip Rivers. He just retired this season. So, a great quarterback in this league that has ran his course in his final season, where we know kind of Big Ben's in, almost his final season. I don't really know if he's playing one more seasons after this one. I can't really see that unless they get to like the Super Bowl and then maybe you run it back, maybe. But Phillip Rivers this year, his average per attempt was 7.68 yards. Fantastic. What was his lowest all season? He never had a 4. He had a 5.28 yards per attempt, and then that's it. Everything is 6 or 7 or 8 yards per attempt. He even did 10.3 yards per attempt in week 3. Looking real good out there. And then let's go one more quarterback, Drew Brees. He also retired this season. He had those injuries. We know he missed 4 games. And what was his average yards per attempt? 7.5, folks. Big Ben was floundering out here in the back half of the season. It's evident he was throwing all the picks. His yards per attempt were really kind of garbage. And I kind of just want to look at these interceptions a little bit. Were these floundering? Were these ducks being thrown by Big Ben out here? So let's go to some of these interceptions and see what this man is looking like in totality. Let me get back here. Where are we at? Here we go. Alrighty, and then the playoff game. Should we even talk about this playoff game where he threw 4 interceptions? He also threw 4 touchdowns, but remember, those 4 interceptions came really early on. They were down 28-0 early on against the Browns team in the playoffs, so just really kind of everything past that first quarter is just meaningless up until this point. But let's look at some of these interceptions down the stretch here of Big Ben and see what they were looking like. Were they ducks? Because everything stat-wise is saying that this man was throwing ducks around the field all season long, at least in the back half of the season. So let's try to see if we can go through a little of these quickly. We get Jacksonville Week 11. Let's find out where that one came from. If we can't go through these quickly, we'll stop it, but we'll see if we can bring up these quickly. All right, Steelers, Chargers, Week 11. Is this right? We said Jacksonville. Am I in the wrong season? Oh, this is for this year. All right, alrighty. Let's go to 2020 and do Week 11. Alrighty. Here we go. Steelers, Jags. All right, let's see where this interception came from, and then we can load up the highlight, unless they got it already loaded up for us in this one, but we'll see. Alrighty, interception. Here it is. And we got to look it up ourselves. So 9 seconds left in the second half, or in the second quarter. So maybe this one isn't a duck. Maybe he's throwing a good interception out here, but let's see. At the end of the quarter, at the end of the half, maybe just throwing it up. Let's see what we get here by Big Ben. Alrighty, here we go. Interception, where art thou? Here we go. All right, let's see what this interception is looking like. Let's set the stage. Oh, my goodness. At 9 seconds left, he's at the 25-yard line of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he has the ability to put up 3 points, but he wants to throw this pick. So let's see how this ball is looking. Is it a duck? Let's see Big Ben's arm at Week 11 with this pick. Drops back to pass, steps up in the pocket, tries to throw sidearm off 1 foot, and this is a duck all day. A duck all day. He throws it in like the quadruple coverage here. Look at the way he's throwing this ball, folks. One foot is up, twisting his body. Look at this ball flopping in the air, and then there it is, just in triple, quadruple coverage back at the end zone. Easy pick there. So Big Ben, not accurate. The arm, the velocity of how he's throwing the ball there. He felt confident throwing it like that off of 1 foot, twisting his body as he's stepping up in the pocket, but we just saw the ball. It was literally flopping, flipping, wobbling in the air. So let's go to Week 12, where he threw another pick, this time against the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see where this interception came. Week 12. Against the Ravens. Ooh, this one was on Wednesday night football game on national television, and you want to go and throw it. Oh my goodness, this is still this year. No. Hey, what's going on here? Why are 2020 Week 12? There's no information on this game. Interesting. Okay. Week 11. And now Week 12. We just can't click on Week 12. Is that right? Alrighty, so let's see if we can just kind of investigate it through this then, or we'll just cut the segment. We'll just cut the segment if we can't get it up. But let's go back to Week 12 here. Let's see if we can find this interception real quick while looking through the Game Pass footage. This was still Wednesday, so we were right on the other page. Just didn't bring up any of the stats or the drives. Interesting. But let's see if we can find this interception quickly. Interception. Where is Big Ben throwing the pick? We're scrolling. Still looking for this interception. Where art thou? Interesting. Alrighty. Well, we just saw the Week 11 one, and all the stats pointed that that they were all just ducks. So I'm confident that all these interceptions were ducks. So I guess we can end it here. We're not. Oh, no. Oh, we found it at the last second. Bingo. Let's see what it's looking like. Here we go. Oh, my God. 4th and goal. 4th and goal from the 1 yard line. It's 0-0. First quarter, 8 minutes and 33 seconds left. You're on the goal line, the 1 yard line, and it's 4th and goal. 4th and 1 on Baltimore's 1 yard line. Big Ben's going to throw a pick here. Another red zone duck. Let's see what it's looking like. So here we go. Drops back to pass. Looking. Buying time. Trying to move out of the pocket and just floats it up. And once again, just floats it up. No wide receiver in sight. So throwing it bad here. And look at how kind of slow he's moving in the pocket as well. So really age is truly catching up with this man. Casey Hayward saying, hey, if you think this man still doesn't have it, then you're not watching football. Folks, we just watched 2 interceptions here in the back half of the season. Everything that we've been saying, last season and in this offseason, and it's right here in front of us. He's throwing ducks, folks. Ducks. Garbage picks right there. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Definitely, this is why we need the running game to kind of complement Big Ben Roethlisberger. But for Casey Hayward to say, quote here, let's get the quote. Where's the quote? Where is it? I want the exact words. I'm still, where was this quote at? But here we go. Quote, Ben still got the goods. Anyone that tells you otherwise, they haven't really looked at football. Folks, we just looked at football. What are you talking about? So that's where we're at with Big Ben Roethlisberger. You better hope Najee Harris is coming out swinging A1 Tier 1 running back, workhorse running back, 1,400 yards, carrying another 3, 4, 5, 600 receiving. Get this man 2K yards because we know that's what Derrick Henry can do. So Steelers are definitely, it's all in. It's Najee Harris or bust this year, folks. If Najee Harris does not get it done, the Steelers will be nothing this season. All right, let's move on to some basketball stories now. Here we go. There's a report that LeBron James is expected to be as close to 100% as he can be for the playoffs, and that's going to be absolutely huge. We were a little hesitant on picking the Lakers in their first play-in tournament game. We have to wait till Wednesday to see that. Unfortunately, Lakers-Warriors is going to be an absolutely great one. But we just saw, the Lakers. We saw LeBron tweak his ankle a little bit in that Pelicans game, their last game on Sunday. So he says he's going to be as close as 100% as he can, but the health of LeBron James is going to be a huge story for this Lakers team because as soon as he goes down, as soon as he re-injures that ankle, if he does it all, we're hoping he doesn't. I mean, I don't want to see this man not playing. But, if that happens, like we've kind of been seeing this season, he hasn't really gotten right off that ankle injury. I mean, this is not like the first time where he's re-tweaked this ankle this year. No, he's gone down once. He came back like 2 months later. Retweaked it, said, hey, made an excuse, hey, I came back a little bit too early, that's why we lost the game, blah, blah, blah. And then he came back for about a game or two, and then he plays in the Pelicans game, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, retweaks the ankle, goes right back down. So we really can't trust the health of LeBron James here. I know he says that he's as close to 100% as he can be, but, I mean, you're not going to say that you're not 100% as you can be, right? I mean, you're not going to give players extra momentum going into any games or playoff series or be like, oh, LeBron James is still favoring that ankle. Let's double team him. Let's get him off balance. So not that he hurts the ankle, but let's make him as uncomfortable as possible out there. So we'll see how he's going to be looking out there on Wednesday night when he's in the play-in tournament game against the Warriors. We just kind of made our predictions yesterday on the show, and we've got the Warriors beating the Lakers. So, and we kind of put LeBron James' health injury into question a little bit there, and we don't really see them getting past the second round if they get past the first round, which we don't really think happens either. So the Lakers are in for a tough ride here if they want to repeat as champions, and I'm not buying that LeBron James is really like basically 100% healthy here. I'm not buying it. Alrighty, and then the last story to talk about. I usually don't get jealous about looking at, millionaires, celebrities' houses, but man, oh man, Anthony Davis just secured a new Bel Air mansion, and holy moly, this is amazing. Like, I'm literally jealous. I looked at this and I was like, damn, yo, I want to live there so mother loving bad. Damn. So it closed for around $32 million, 17,000 square feet on 3.5 acres of land, 8 bedrooms, 9 baths, and we got the overhead view. Oh my goodness, folks, look at this beautifulness. Imagine living here. Imagine living here with no worries in the world, no care at all. Man, oh man, man, oh man, man, oh man, that is the life, folks. So please subscribe to our Patreon so we can afford this $32 million mansion. I just want to rent out a room for Anthony Davis. But we got to get that Patreon up, folks. Patreon.com/takesbyfans. Let's all live here, folks. I'll let y'all come over. But we got to get the house secured first. So $5 a month. We'll be there in no time. We'll be there at no time. So, I mean, just a full tennis court right here. I don't even know what, is this basketball? But I don't know what's on the side here, but a full freaking tennis court, a full swimming pool. Look at how nice this pool is looking from the overhead view. Just an amazing compound. And then the house just straight up, I mean, elegant as heck. Imagine pulling up to this. I mean, I don't even know what to think. I mean, if I had to go up these steps, I mean, just intimidating. Like, this is rich as rich right here, folks. And then another picture of the swimming pool, and man, oh man, luxurious, just solid of just a clean, it's just so clean out here, folks. It just looks clean. It looks beautiful. It looks magnificent. It looks otherworldly. It just looks like if you had to think of a place where you can go to escape all your troubles, I'm sure you're imagining this place right here, and Anthony Davis owns it. He owns it. And then, man, right there, look at this view, the patio, the pool, the balcony, the cleanness of this house, these glass windows, letting all the light in, sipping, just laying by one of these, how many freaking places to sit are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 individual chairs there. Then you got a couch right here that can sit 3. Another couch there that can sit 3. 2 or 3 more individual chairs, and that's just on the other. That's just on one side, and it's the same. It's symmetrical on the other side, folks. So just an absolute brilliant. Like I said, I don't get that jealous looking at celebrities' houses, but man, oh man, I'm trying to live here, man. Give me the $32 million. Damn. So, congratulations, Anthony Davis. Holy moly. Absolutely. I don't know. I don't even know. It's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's everything. This is the house. This is the dream. This is the dream. This is the dream. So congratulations, Anthony Davis, on closing on a $32 million house. It's honestly astonishing, amazing, brilliant, magnificent, marvelous. It's perfect. It's pure perfection. Pure perfection. So congratulations, Anthony Davis. Now go win a ring and earn the house, Anthony Davis. You think winning one ring allows you to buy this house? No, go repeat as champions. Go do it. Carry without LeBron because he'll tweak the ankle in the playoffs again. Earn the house, Anthony. Earn the house, Anthony Davis. Alrighty. Those were all the stories that we needed to talk about today. So let's go into what is going on tonight in the NBA. Then we'll head over to our MVP discussion, where hopefully we can kind of come up with a concrete winner of the MVP award this year for the NBA. And then we'll head over to the NFL schedule and keep predicting the winners of the games for the next couple of weeks there. I believe we got weeks 7 and 8 coming up. So let's start here with tonight's NBA action. 2 play-in tournament games tonight. It's the Eastern Conference play-in tournament tonight. So the first game, they're both televised. Absolutely great. 6:30. Hornets, Pacers. Now, the winner of this game moves on. There's no chance, there's no way that one of these two teams can get into the playoffs in today alone. So loser goes home. Winner has their one lone chance to get into the playoffs, depending on who wins the Wizards-Celtics game. So Hornets-Pacers at 6:30 on TNT, and then we got the Wizards and the Celtics 9 o'clock on TNT. Now, the winner of this game goes as the 7th seed in the playoffs. We have that as the Wizards, and then the loser faces the winner of the Hornets and Pacers, and the winner of that game gets that final 8th seed. So 9 o'clock, Wizards at Celtics, going to be a great one. But let's talk about how we can make some money here. So let's get these lines up. Let's see what the lines are like for the play-in games, and then we'll kind of start talking about it. And how about great for us? We hit our moneymaker on that hockey last night. Washington Capitals plus a goal and a half. I mean, just great value there. Cashed out on that. And now we're ready to cash out on some NBA action. So here we go. Hornets plus 1.5 and Pacers minus 1.5. We have the Hornets winning this game, so we get a 1.5. I think that's amazing value. But let's check to see what the Hornets and the Pacers were looking like all season long when they faced each other, because we're just kind of going off on just these two teams alone on what they've really been doing for us lately. So let's kind of go back in the schedule and see what all the games between the Hornets and Pacers were looking like to see if this is actually good value or not, or are the Pacers just blowing out the Hornets every single game. So let's see what we get here. Also, the Hornets are on the road, so not the best look for them. Unfortunately, they fell down to that 10th seed, so they are going to be on the road here. So let's see what we get. Their first meeting. Here we go. Wednesday, January 27th, and the Hornets lost 116-106. Alrighty, let's see what happened in this game. Or maybe not. Here we go. Let's click on the box score this time. And they were at home for the game, so that's never good. Losing at home, never good. But let's see who got it done this game. Sabonis was still playing the 4, and Miles Turner was still playing. So we know that they're not going to have Miles Turner here for this game, so they're not going to have that good beef down low. Sabonis is probably going to play the 5. So Miles Turner this game only put up 8 points and 4 rebounds, so he didn't have a huge part in the overall win. He was only a +9 on the floor in a 10-point win. Everybody else was +19, +19, +18, and Jeremy Lamb was a -5, but he's not even on the team no more. So, alrighty. And then who was doing good for the Hornets in this game? LaMelo Ball was not even in the starting lineup yet. So once again, kind of, yes, the Hornets lost this game, but, these two teams are truly different from their first meeting. So, we don't have to put too much stake in this Hornets team losing. Then they actually faced the next night, 2 nights in a row, they faced these people. 2 times in a 3-day span, we'll say that. And this time they win 108-105. So a close win here. I believe they are still at home for it. And they are still at home. Let's see. Miles Turner was still in the lineup at the 5. 20 points, 8 rebounds. Once again, we're not going to have that. What else do we get here? Who was doing good for this Hornets team? LaMelo Ball was still on the bench. Terry Rozier put up 19 points. Devontae Graham, is that right? Devontae Graham, yep. Devontae Graham put up how many points here? 14 points. PJ Washington was at the 4, 19 points. Cody Zeller was at the 5, 12.6 rebounds. Once again, just totally different team now, because we know it's either going to be Biyombo at the 5 or PJ Washington at the 5 here. So these first 2 early games not really telling us much, and the Hornets won by 3 in their second meeting, 108-105. So let's see when their next meetings came, maybe a little bit later in the year, when, the actual matchups that we're probably going to see in tonight's action where they face. So let's see. Their next meeting, Pacers Hornets, came April 2nd. Alrighty, a little bit closer here. Let's see who won this game. Hornets won this one on the road. Perfect. They win 114-97. Pacers offense was floundering. Let's see who was in the starting lineup for this Pacers team. Miles Turner was still at the 5, but he only put up 7 points and 8 rebounds, so wasn't doing a great job over there. Karis LeVert is finally here for this Pacers team, so that's great to see. He put up 16 points. Sabonis had a lackluster game, 8 points, 4 assists, 10 rebounds. And then for this Hornets team, no LaMelo Ball. No LaMelo Ball, he's injured. He's out. He was not able to play. So late in the season, no LaMelo Ball. And this Hornets team still got it done. Terry Rozier put up 15 points. Devontae Graham put up 12 points. Bismack Biyombo was at the 5. Cody Zeller's on the bench. Biyombo put up 6 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. PJ Washington at the 4 put up 13 points. But Gordon Hayward was in this game as well, attributing 13 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds. And we believe that he is still not able to go. So actually, we forgot to do that. Let's get the starting lineups here, or the ins and outs here. I believe for this Hornets team that Gordon Hayward is going to be out, but let's double check. Just totally forgot to look at the ins and outs there. Truly unfortunate. And how about this? So when I look on Score Mobile, that's where I find the injury report on. And when we do our lines, we look at DraftKings because we just prefer DraftKings site. But a little interesting here, we don't see too much kind of disparity between the lines here between Score Mobile, and because you can bet on Score Mobile, they do have their own sports book, and DraftKings. On Score Mobile, the spread is Hornets +3. And on DraftKings, it's only plus 1.5. So that's kind of interesting there. A full 1.5 difference here in their spread. Usually it's like about a half a point, maybe a point at most, but 1.5, that's real. So I would bet it on Score Mobile, get the better odds there. Unless DraftKings wants a sponsor, then DraftKings is the only sportsbook for us. Alrighty, so the ins and out here for the Hornets. Gordon Hayward is out and Cordy Martin is out, so Gordon Hayward is still going to be out like we're expecting, but everybody else is good to go. And then for the Pacers, Jeremy Lamb is still out. Malcolm Brogdon's a game-time decision. Expect him to go. Karis LeVert, oh my God, Karis LeVert's out with the COVID-19. Is that right? Oh my God, that's huge. That is huge for the Hornets. Huge good for the Hornets and huge bad for this Pacers team. Karis LeVert, out Tuesday, expected to miss multiple games if the Pacers advance. Wow. That is huge. So we are loving the Hornets +1.5 all day. And look at this. Edmund Sumner's also a game-time decision, and Sabonis is a game-time decision. Now, we're expecting all these game-time decisions to play because it's win or go home, so you might as well just play to try, right? But the big news that Karis LeVert is out, that is absolutely monstrous, and that really just kind of really reaffirms this Hornets +1.5. I mean, I think that's going to hit all day. If they don't have LeVert, LeVert's really kind of been carrying this team a little bit over the last couple of games. They moved him to the 1. He's really been kind of elevating his game. So this is huge. The Pacers are going to be lackluster scoring the ball, and Sabonis is going to be at the 5, so you really can't run the offense through him if he's at the 5, truly. So they're going to have all their players step up, and we know the Hornets, if Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham and LaMelo Ball are all on, if they're all putting up 20 points, it's going to be game over. So, yeah, we're loving this Hornets team +1.5. Let's keep going here to see if they did have one more last meeting before the season ended. And they have not. So they played 3 times this season. The Hornets won once. The Pacers won once. And they haven't really faced each other with this lineup that they're going to have in this play-in tournament game. So we're feeling 100% confident on this Hornets team +1.5. No Karis LeVert. There's no way. I got to knock on wood because I'm doubling down heavy here. But I don't see any way that this Pacers can keep up scoring-wise, keep up offensively. And we just saw in the very last meeting, the last game here, between the Pacers and the Hornets, the Pacers only put up 97 points. It's not going to get it done offensively. So we know they've been lackluster, and we're still feeling confident about this Hornets team +1.5. Alrighty, now let's go to this Wizards in Celtics game. Wizards +2, Celtics -2. Real close one here. Score Mobile has it -2, +2, just like DraftKings does. So maybe Score Mobile has not updated their odds on this Karis LeVert news. You better get on that, Score Mobile, or you're going to be losing a lot of money tonight. Alrighty, let's go to the Wizards and the Celtics. Let's check their lineups first, and then we'll get into the schedule as well. So for the Wizards, Raul Neto's just a game-time decision. Hopefully he's good to go. And then for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown is out, and Robert Williams is a game-time decision. So all their players are really kind of good to go here. I'm expecting Robert Williams to potentially play. Let's get it done. Tristan Thompson's going to be the starter, but Robert Williams there to come off the bench if they need another 5. Alrighty, so Wizards +2, Celtics -2. We predicted the Wizards winning this game yesterday on the show, so we are going to take the Wizards +2 here, but let's see if we kind of get, a little vindicated, a little extra, all right, this is, we're on the right path here. So let's look at the Celtics and the Wizards here on what they've been doing. throughout the season, just like we did for the Hornets and the Pacers. Alrighty, here we go. Their first meeting, Wizards in Boston, coming real early in the season, January 8th here. And the Wizards lose 116-107. But remember, this is the early Celtics who were good and the early Wizards who were bad. But let's see who was in this game, and let's see what was going on. So the Celtics starters were Semi Ojeleye. We know he's not in the starting lineup anymore. And Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Daniel Theis. So once again, a little bit of a different lineup here. No Kemba Walker in the lineup. Daniel Theis isn't there anymore. Daniel Theis gave them 10 points, 6 rebounds. Semi Ojeleye put up 8 points, but Jason Tatum put up 32. Jaylen Brown put up 27, and that's going to be the main thing here. Jaylen Brown putting up 27 points. That's 27 points that they're going to have to kind of make up for without Jaylen Brown there on the floor. So let's see if Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker can kind of do what they do, but also while making up those 27 points. Jason Tatum put up 32. That's what I'm expecting him to do this game. He's going to be their main facilitator. I actually heard, I was watching the Celtics game, one of their last games the other day, and the Brad Stevens said that, he didn't want Jason Tatum to kind of, be the ball hog, and he still wanted him to kind of spread it around the floor. But I really thought that was kind of the bad thing to say, honestly. Jason Tatum needs to kind of command the ball. He needs to be on his LeBron. He needs to be on his kind of Kevin Durant if he was on a team that didn't have any stars, which we know that's kind of a myth. But yeah, Jason Tatum, he's the only consistent scorer on this team. He's the only one that I really trust here. I don't trust Evan Fournier. Kemba Walker's always kind of decent here, but he's never clutch ever. So I would tell Jason Tatum, hey, take all the mother loving shots. Take 40 shots this game, please. Take 20 from the 3, 20 from the field, and please put up 50 or more points, because that's what we're going to need for you to win. So I don't know if that's the best advice that Brad Stevens was giving. All right, so Jason Tatum put up 32 points in this game. What did Russell Westbrook do and Bradley Beal? Russell Westbrook, 12 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. So this was before Russell Westbrook was getting those triple-doubles. Bradley Beal, he put up 41 points, which is great, but and he's definitely going to need that this game, no doubt. So he put up 41 points there. Anybody do good here? Davis Bertans off the bench, 13 points. Expect him. He's potentially going to be in the starting lineup here, folks. They had a Bryant at the 5. We know he's not there anymore. 7 points, 8 rebounds. So once again, they're going to be a little bit lackluster on the bench or at the big. They're going to have Alex Len being the big, and we know that we're not the best. But luckily for Alex Len, he's going to be going against Tristan Thompson, and maybe only Tristan Thompson alone, because we just said that Grant Williams is a game-time decision. So Boston wins their first meeting by 9 points. 116-107, but like we said, that was real early on in the season. So their next meeting coming February 14th, this time the Wizards winning 104-91. Lackluster offense here by the Celtics, so let's see what was going on here. Everybody was playing, but Jason Tatum had a bad game. Only 6 points on 3 of 14 from the field. So, the Wizards here they've proven that they can lock up Jason Tatum a little bit, and that's exactly what they need, because they're not going to have Jaylen Brown, so they're not going to have that second go-to option here. And Jaylen Brown put up 25 points in this game, so. All right, and then the Wizards here. Russell Westbrook, 13 points, 11 assists. Bradley Beal, 35 points. Rui Hachimura putting up 35 points. Yes, sir. Davis Bertans off the bench, 8 points, 8 rebounds. Alex Len did not play this game, and their big that they rocked with was Moritz Wagner, which, once again, they do not have anymore. So Wizards win the second meeting. This one's still a little early, February 14th, so still early on in the season. Let's see if we get anything a little bit more closer toward the back half of the season here. And we don't. They only faced twice this season, so unfortunate there. One time, winning each time, and if you lock up Jason Tatum, there's nobody else to score the ball, so that's going to be priority number 1 for this Wizards team tonight. So we are going to take the Wizards +2 tonight. We're feeling good about them. They haven't really faced, at the back half of the season where all the lineups are really kind of solidified here. So Wizards +2, we're going to rock with it. The Celtics are going to be lackluster scoring the ball offensively. They need Jason Tatum's going to have to go for 40. Kemba's going to have to go for 20+. And same thing with Evan Fournier. He's going to have to go for 20, probably 25+ as well. And then just hope that Marcus Smart is on tonight and that Tristan Thompson's having a good game. But I'm going to take Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. They've always stepped up to the occasion here. When we're kind of looking at kind of the overall trajectory of the seedings here, we were talking about the Celtics as as like the 3 or 4th seed early on in the season, and then he just kept floundering and floundering and floundering and floundering, and getting Evan Fournier at the trade deadline really never worked out as well as we kind of hoped. We thought that was going to be the home run pick, and that was really going to elevate the Celtics into the kind of the top 4 here in the Eastern Conference, but then they fall to number 7, where the Wizards, I mean, they were out of the playoffs. They were like number 12, number 11 here in the Eastern Conference all season long. Trade deadline came, All-Star break came, and that's really when they started to step it up, working their way all the way up to that 8th seed, clawing their way in to that play-in tournament, and getting all the way up to the 8th seed. I mean, when we were doing our final push for that play-in spot, I mean, they were the 10th seed, folks. They were kind of getting challenged a little bit by the Bulls and Raptors. Not too much, but they were still the 10th seed, but they leapfrogged the Pacers. The Hornets fell down, and they clawed their way up to the 8th seed. So I'm giving the Wizards the +2 here. I love the momentum. Celtics, I mean, all their momentum has gone away. They're losing players. They don't have anything consistent here, and they're going to have to rely on everybody to get it done. And besides Jason Tatum, I can't trust anybody on this Celtics team. So Wizards +2, folks. Loving it. So that's our moneymaker for tonight's action. Hornets +1.5 and Wizards +2 for the first day of the play-in tournament. Cannot wait. And it starts early, 6:40 tonight, TNT, and it's going to be a real good one. So can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to talk about it tomorrow, and we'll be giving you all that information tomorrow on the show. Alrighty, let's head over to one of our main topics today, which is talking about the MVP race in the NBA, folks. So the regular season is officially over, so we do kind of want to talk about it right now. We have time in the show, just the play-in tournament this week before playoffs start, and, you know, things are going to get wonky and wild. So we have this nice little buffer week with the play-in tournament that we can kind of talk about it. And we don't want to get caught up too much seeing these MVP candidates play in the postseason, because that has no weight into the regular season award, which is the MVP. So now that our kind of minds are fresh, the entire season's over, we're not going to get kind of distracted and kind of biased by postseason progression and postseason play. So let's talk about the NBA MVP. So a lot of people are saying that let's just kind of take it by top 5 candidates here on kind of the mainstream narrative, which would be kind of Jokic, obviously, Embiid, Giannis, Chris Paul, and I think people are starting to do Steph Curry. I think that's kind of like the national media top 5 there. But we don't have that. We don't have that as our top 5, and we're going to tell you why we're taking some of those players out of that top 5 of what the national kind of mainstream media is talking about. So, what our top 5 is obviously Jokic. We have him as a front runner. We're going to kind of either confirm or kind of deny those kind of allegations. We're going to kind of take it fairly, and we've got some criteria that we're going to be judging on in a second. But just kind of for our contestants, our participants, our kind of top of the NBA MVP discussion, Jokic. We also like Steph Curry. I mean, we have to talk about him at least. I don't know if he's clear-cut MVP, but what he's been doing these last 2 months, I mean, we have to respect him by talking about him. So I am going to kind of agree with the media there and, you know, talk about Steph Curry here. Chris Paul, I don't agree, but I'm going to kind of tell you why I don't agree, and we're still going to be talking about him, but this is a dumb decision to even talk about, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Luka Doncic, he gets no play, and we have to respect this man because he's doing better than Chris Paul, and we're going to talk about all the stats in a second, but he also worked his way up to the 5th seed in the Western Conference, 42 wins. I mean, we were talking about this team as, you know, a play-in tournament team midway in the season and, you know, a lackluster record, losing record, but this last couple of months here, these last 2 months, Luka Doncic has really gotten on his bullshit and really kind of single-handedly led this Mavericks team to the 5th seed. I mean, we know Porzingis, you know, was missing a couple of games here down the backstretch, and Luka was still winning games effortlessly. Let's call it that. So I think Luka Doncic is getting truly disrespected here, and we're going to make a decent argument for him to be the MVP. Honestly, before we kind of do all the criteria, I rank Jokic 1 and Doncic 2. That's how I see the MVP race. And then I also kind of want to shout out Russell Westbrook. Another triple-double season. Once again, I mean, this Wizards team, you got to respect the story. Just absolutely trashed this entire year, definitely in the first half of the season. But ever since the trade deadline, they've really gotten on their bullshit and have clawed their way up. They were the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference for the longest time. They worked their way up to the 8th seed. Russell Westbrook's great every single game, and we're going to respect him a little bit by throwing his name into the MVP discussion. So those are my top 5 that we are going to kind of investigate and look at and kind of judge and go through the criteria with a little bit. But Jokic, Steph Curry, Chris Paul, I don't really agree. Luka Doncic and Russell Westbrook. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Well, what about Giannis and Joel Embiid and blah, 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 blah. Well, let's talk about him. So Giannis, he had a good year this year. Don't get us wrong. 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. But when we look at, another big in this league is doing is Jokic. He's putting up 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And that's a huge category that Giannis is lacking in, is the facilitating of the floor. Giannis doesn't have to do that. Jokic has to do that now that Jamal Murray's down, and he's still getting it done in the scoring department. So I just see Jokic as a clear better big than Giannis. So I can't even talk about Giannis when we're talking about, bigs, 4 or 5s. Giannis is, worse, and he's shooting, worse from the 3. They have the same field goal percentage, 56%, Jokic and Giannis. But look at Giannis's 3, 30%, where Jokic is extending the floor, is spreading the floor at 38% from 3. So it's just clear that Jokic is just so much better than Giannis, just individually in the MVP candidate. I mean, we had the Bucks winning the title, folks, but we're just talking about the MVP right now. And, Jokic is just clear-cut better, and what gives Jokic the edge over the top of all the other bigs here is he's played every single game, folks. 72 games played. There's only 72 games this season, so they scored the same amount of points. The rebounds are basically the same, but the assisting, Jokic is getting that extra added role to facilitate the floor. He's a great passer, a great scorer, great big down low, and he's there all season. When Jamal Murray went down last month, and Jokic really just kind of finished the season, we said they only lost 4 games ever since kind of Jamal Murray went down, which is absolutely fantastic. So this is why we're not going to be talking about Giannis in the MVP discussion. Jokic is just that much better, and I don't think there's a case to be made that Giannis is better than Jokic. So Giannis is out of here. Joel Embiid, first of all, he played 51 games. He missed 20 games. That's a fourth of the season. For that alone, I'm not giving him MVP. And the second reason alone is that he's averaging 2.8 assists. He's not facilitating the floor. So why am I going to give it to Joel Embiid and not Jokic when Jokic is doing everything that Joel Embiid is doing while still taking on that extra added role to facilitate the floor, pass the ball around? So I can't give it to Joel Embiid. Missed 20 games, 2 assists a game. I'm not giving MVP to that. And then, this is just Damian Lillard. Once again, I can't really give it to him. I wanted to give it to him, but when we just kind of compare him, I mean, he's only doing 4 rebounds. I mean, we've got, Russell Westbrook triple-double. We got Luka Doncic 8. So just kind of in that category alone, we were kind of talking about Damian Lillard up until the All-Star break, up until really CJ McCollum and Nurkic got healthy, because that's really when Damian Lillard started to flounder a little bit. Not good. He's kind of gotten it back these last 2 weeks, but still, that kind of big stretch of games really left a bad taste in our mouth. So I can't really give Damian Lillard the MVP either. I know that wasn't in the media discussion or anything like that. So these are our top 5 that we're going to be investigating, and we're going to break it down like this. We're going to look at the stats, grade the stats 1 through 5, giving, the ranks to the 1 through 5, and then we'll give points off that rank. So if you rank number 1, if you have the best, then you're going to get 5 points. If you're the second, then you get 4. If you're the third best overall stats, then we'll give you 3. Fourth best, you get 2. Last, you get 1 point, and then we'll kind of tally up the points at the end there and kind of get our rough kind of algorithm score of who we think the MVP should be based on the stats. We'll award points to their overall record. We'll award points to, and then the quality wins. Which teams are you beating? And then we'll also kind of factor all that into the discussion to give us the MVP. So let's start there with the first category of the stats. Like we've said, Jokic, 72 games played. For that alone, we have to give him an extra point. I'm giving him 1 point. We'll award points for, different, things for these players here, but I got to give Jokic a point right off the rip for 72 games. 72 games, playing every single game. No other player has done that in the MVP discussion. We get Jokic 72 games, Curry played 63, Chris Paul played 70, Doncic played 66, and Russell Westbrook played 65. So Jokic right there, bingo, bango, a huge kind of resume builder for the playing every single game this season. He also averaged 26 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, getting involved in every facet of the game. He shot 56% from the field, 38% from the 3, and then 86% from the free throw line. So, a good big score. I mean, he's a good scoring big out here. Fantastic. Alrighty, Steph Curry sets 32 points a game, leading the kind of charge here in our MVP candidates. So very well done to Steph Curry. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, just a little mediocre. This is where he doesn't really stack up quite as well as these other kind of point guard or just kind of MVP candidates. I mean, yes, he's got the scoring, so don't get us wrong. And another reason why we're adding Steph Curry into the MVP discussion. So great job. And he's also shooting 48% from the field and 42% from 3. The best from the 3, the most points. It's just absolutely fantastic what he's able to do. All right, Chris Paul, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. I mean, Luka Doncic is putting up 8 assists. Russell Westbrook is averaging a triple-double, so 11 assists there. And James Harden, before he got injured, 10, 11 assists as well. So Chris Paul, just a little mediocre. He is shooting 39% from the 3, which is absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But everything else is just truly lackluster. Points, rebounds, assists. Everybody's really just doing better than him. And, these stats just tell us that, with all their wins and Chris Paul's kind of lackluster overall production, just compared to everybody else. I mean, I'm not knocking Chris Paul. He's still one of the best players. He's just not the MVP this year. So just lackluster stats like that, and that just goes to show that Chris Paul doesn't need to be on his kind of A game every single game because he's not the primary scorer out there. It's Devin Booker. Devin Booker's the number 1 option on that Suns team. So I can't give it to Chris Paul, but we'll still kind of go through the motions here. And we'll award some points here. We're just going over all the stats, then we're going to rank them in a second. All right, then we go to Luka Doncic. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He's shooting 47% from the field and 35% from the 3. So very good there. The average about 3-point shooting this season is about 33%. So he's above average there. But, getting it done, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, truly respectful for a point guard out there. And then Russell Westbrook, got to give it up for this man. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, averaging that triple-double. Now, the 3-point per shooting is not that great, 31%. Like we said, a little bit below average, so not the best there. So those are all the stats here. So let's start awarding some points here. So we're going to give the number 1 overall 5 points for the best stats to... We're going to give it to Jokic, folks. He's putting up the points, the rebounds. He's averaging the double-double with points and rebounds, and he's there still with the assists. And then he's shooting 56% and that 38% from 3 there, stretching the floor, shooting a better 3-point percentage than Luka Doncic and Russell Westbrook. Great out there. Chris Paul shooting a little bit better, and, Steph Curry shooting a little bit better. But overall stats, I'm going to rank Jokic as number 1, so he gets awarded 5 points. All right, the second best, I'm going to go with Luka Doncic. Once again, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, just getting it done in every facet, 35% from the 3. Very good there. So we're going to rank Luka Doncic 2. He gets 4 points. All right, the third best, I'm going to give it to Steph Curry. The 42% from the 3 is absolutely amazing. I know Russell Westbrook is averaging the triple-double, which is still great, but at 32 points, I got to give it to Steph Curry, plus getting those 5 assists and 5 rebounds. I mean, he doesn't have anybody to really pass to for the assists. I mean, everybody else is really kind of trash on this team. So I'm going to rank Steph Curry 3rd here. He gets 3 points. Then I'm ranking Russell Westbrook number 2, folks. That triple-double, or number 4, folks. That triple-double is fantastic. I know it's a little lackluster with the points, but Chris Paul's even worth with the points, so I'm not going to give it to Chris Paul. So Russell Westbrook is 4th. He gets 2 points. And then Chris Paul would be the last in the stats, and he only gets 1 little old point there. All right, so then we did the stats. So now let's go to the overall records. What are these teams looking like in kind of the playoff stance and just kind of, their record overall? So let's go to this. Let's start with Jokic. He's got 47 wins. Fantastic. All righty. Then we go to Steph Curry. He's only got 39 wins. Chris Paul, 51 wins with the Suns. Luka Doncic, 42 wins. And Russell Westbrook, the worst, I think, of all of them all, 34 wins. Yikes. So, all right. Chris Paul has the best record, so he gets 5 points for that. Luka Doncic with the second best record, he gets 4 points for that. Luka Doncic, third best wins here, so he gets 3 points. Then Steph Curry with 39 wins, he gets 2 points. And Russell Westbrook in last place, 1 point there. Alrighty, now let's go to quality wins. And we're going to rank quality wins as top 6 in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. Now that we kind of had this clear separation of talent just in playing tournament versus pure playoff spot, we're going to kind of take that as quality wins there. So top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference, top 6 teams in the Western Conference. So let's go through all their schedules and see who is getting it done in the against the best teams, the top 12 teams in the league, if you will. All right, so here we go. Let's go to let's start with Jokic first. So let's go to the Denver Nuggets, and let's start counting their quality wins. All righty, here we go. Let's get them. Here we go. So far, none. Loss against the Clippers, loss against the Suns early on. All right, they beat the 76ers, so that's one. They beat the Knicks. That's another one. 2 so far. Loss against Brooklyn. Win against Golden State. They're not in the top 6. Loss against Utah. Win against OKC. Win against the Suns. Win against the Suns again. Win against the Mavericks. Win against the Heat. Heat are top 6. Win against the Jazz. They're top 6. All right. Win against the Cavs. Win against the Thunder. Win against the Lakers. Win against Cleveland. Win against Portland. Is Portland top 6? I think they just squeezed in, right? Yes, they did. All right. At number 6. So Blazers win. Bucks win. Pacers, Memphis, they're not top 6 there. Pacers, Hornets, Bulls, not top 6. Atlanta, top 6. There's 10. All right, then we get Philadelphia, 11. Clippers, 12. Orlando, Detroit, San Antonio twice. None of those are good wins. Miami Heat, another good win there. We're at 13. Another Blazers win. We're at 14. Clippers win at 15. Knicks win. We're at 16. And then that is it. Their last good win was against the Knicks, unfortunately. So 16 good quality wins there for Jokic. Alrighty, now let's go to Steph Curry and the Warriors. How many quality wins do they got? Or what is it? Golden State. I hate that they do Golden State. Why don't they just do San Francisco? I guess it's not, but y'all know what I mean. All right, here we go. The Warriors, their quality wins. Here we go. Portland, that's 1. LA Clippers, that's 1. That's 2, I should say. Alrighty, wins against the Timberwolves, not quality there. Pistons, Dallas Mavericks, that's a quality 1, that's 3. Then we're back with the Spurs and the Magic and the Cavs and the Heat in overtime. Very well done. 4 wins so far. The Knicks, another one, another quality win there. A Jazz, quality win there. We're at 6. Bucks, oh, what a good win there. April 6th, we're at 7. Denver Nuggets, bingo bango, we're at 8. 76ers, 9 quality wins. Another Nuggets win, that's 10. Alrighty, oh my God, look at this down the stretch. Win against the Thunder, the Jazz, another one, the Suns, another one. So 12 quality wins there for Steph Curry. Alrighty, let's go to Chris Paul and the Suns now. Count their quality wins. Here we go. Alrighty, Dallas Mavericks, that's a quality win right there. Jazz, quality win. Nuggets, quality win. Coming out of the gate swinging in the quality wins. Ooh, but then they lose to Denver twice in January. Not good there. All right, they go and beat the Dallas Mavericks twice. That's 2 more quality wins. We're at 5. Wins against the Detroit Pistons, Celtics, Cavs, no good wins there. But now against the Bucks and the 76ers, we're at 7. Against the Blazers, that's 8. Timberwolves, Lakers, Warriors, no, but we're back with the Portland. Man, owning the Portland Trailblazers all season long. That's 9 quality wins. Let's keep going. Minnesota, Lakers, Heat, another quality win at 10. Raptors, Hornets, Hawks, there we go. That's 11. Jazz, that's 12. Winning against the Heat again. Oh my God, they own the Heat again. That's 13. Against the Bucks, that's 14. Against the 76ers, that's 15. Against the Knicks, that's 16. Clippers, 17. Jazz again, 18. The Knicks again, that's 19. And then the Blazers one more time at the end of the season. So that's 20 quality wins there for Chris Paul. Alrighty, let's keep going to Luka Doncic. And the Dallas Mavericks, here we go. Luka Doncic, quality wins. Let's talk about it. Clippers, that's 1. Heat, that's 2. Denver Nuggets, that's 3. Pacers Spurs, that's nothing. Hawks, that's another one. We're at 4. Golden State a couple of times, that's no quality. Another Hawks win, we'll move them up to 5. Brooklyn Nets, that's 6. Denver Nuggets again, that's 7. Portland again, that's 8. Knicks, that's 9. Jazz, that's 10. Bucks, that's 11. Brooklyn again, Heat again. We're up to 8. And then nothing else to close out the season. So 8 quality wins there for Luka Doncic. And then we go to Russell Westbrook and the Wizards. Alrighty, where are we at? Russell Westbrook. Here we go to round it out, and then we'll start adding up the point totals here. So for the Washington Wizards, what do they got for quality wins? Here we go. They beat the Nets early on, January 3rd. Very well done there. They beat the Suns again early on in the season. We love it. 2 quality wins so far. They beat the Nets again. Oh, my God. The Nets kryptonite is the Wizards. Who would have thought? All right, they beat the Heat. We're at 4 quality wins. The Denver Nuggets, another one. The Blazers, another one. We're at 6. The Denver Nuggets again, that's 7. The Clippers, that's 8. Man, they beat the good teams. We're loving it. This is early on in the season. We're at March so far. We're at 8 quality wins. They beat the Jazz. That's 9. The Jazz again, that's 10. Stuttering here at 10. And they will stutter at 10. Alrighty. They didn't face that many quality teams here. Lost to the Knicks a couple of times. Lost to the Bucks a couple of times. All right, so they got 10 quality wins. So, alrighty. So, Chris Paul is at the top with 5 points there for quality wins at 20. Then, Jokic is number 2 at 16. He gets 4 points. Steph Curry, 3 at 12 quality wins. He gets 3 points. Russell Westbrook, 10 quality wins. He gets 2 points. And then Luka Doncic with only 8 quality wins. He gets 1 point. Alrighty, so let's add up the totals here. So, Jokic, 5 points for the stats, 4 points for the record, and another 4 points for the quality wins. That's 8 plus 5. That's 13 points for Jokic in total. Steph Curry, 3 points for the stats, 2 points for the record, and 3 points for quality wins. That is 8 points in total for Steph Curry. Chris Paul, we had to add an extra point for Jokic for the playing all games. So we go from Jokic from 13 points to 14 points. Forgot to add that extra point there. Chris Paul, 1 point for stats, 5 points for record, and 5 points for quality wins. That puts him at 11 points. Luka Doncic, 4 points for stats, 3 points for record, and 1 point for quality wins. Puts him up to 8 points. With Steph Curry tied. And then Russell Westbrook, 2 points for stats, 1 point for a record, and 2 points for quality wins. That only puts him at 5 points. So our MVP of just our little algorithm that we ran, it's Jokic with 14 points. Then it's Chris Paul with 11 points. So kind of, beating our own narrative a little bit. But those stats are really lackluster. I know we had to give it 1 point, but man, oh man, those stats were nothing truly great there. Really kind of lucked out with the record and quality wins. Once again, really relying on Devin Booker for those a little bit. But we'll go with Chris Paul 2 there. Then we get Russell Westbrook 3rd at 9 points, and Luka Doncic and Steph Curry both tied at 8 points there. So our kind of MVP picture kind of shakes out at Jokic 1, CP3 2, Russell Westbrook 3, and Luka Doncic and Steph Curry tied at 4th. But once again, like we said, just that Chris Paul having Devin Booker, not having to be that number 1 scorer, and he's still a little underwhelming with the assists though. So I didn't even want to kind of really include Chris Paul here, really kind of just focusing in on those wins and those quality wins in the record. But only 9 assists. I mean, there's players better. I mean, Jokic has only 1 less assist than Chris Paul. I mean, I truly don't even think Chris Paul belongs in this conversation. But to appease everybody that wants to talk about it, we talked about it. But Jokic still clearly, hands down, 5 points or 3 points over Luka Doncic. Jokic is 3 points over Chris Paul in totality there. So Jokic is still our clear-cut front-runner MVP. Congratulations, Jokic. He's the Takes by Fans MVP, folks. and he should be the MVP. Should be. There's really no discussion here, folks. It's big gap there between Jokic and Chris Paul. Alrighty, so that's our MVP discussion. We'll do our 6-man, and we'll do a 6-man. What else are we gonna do? 6-man. We don't really talk about defensive player. Maybe we'll talk about it smallly. We still got time throughout this week, but we'll probably do 6-man of the year tomorrow, and we'll talk about all those players. Alrighty. Well, also let's before we do this, before we finish up this MVP segment, let's go to what the DraftKings odds are now that everything is kind of come and gone. Jokic is clear cut at minus 10,000. Yep. So we can kind of expect that. Steph Curry's number 2 at plus 3,000. Joel Embiid is number 3 or tied at number 2 at plus 3,000. I don't get the Joel Embiid. He missed 20 games. I can't give it to that man. He's averaging 2 assists, folks. You cannot give it to Joel Embiid. I can't believe it. Luka Doncic is plus 10,000. I love that he's over Chris Paul. I truly think that's how it is. It's how it really should be. And then Giannis at the 4th best at plus 6,000. So, yeah, Jokic there. I mean, I know nobody wants to give it to him because he's not a big name brand and all that, but that's disrespectful that y'all are not talking about. We've been talking about him. Y'all, if y'all haven't been talking about Jokic, that's on your fault. Fox Sports, ESPN, that's on y'all. That ain't on me. I got Jokic. Well, I'll take Jokic. Alrighty. Let's head over to our NFL schedule here. We have done 6 weeks of the 2021-2022 NFL schedule, picking the winners of every single game of every single week and kind of, culminating with our Super Bowl champions, our too early to call Super Bowl champions. So after 6 weeks, let's recap. We got the Steelers at the number 1 at the AFC North at 4-2. We get the Colts at the top of the AFC South at 6-0. The Dolphins at the top of the AFC East at 4-2, and the Chiefs at the top of the AFC West at 6-0. And then in the NFC, the Packers, the NFC North top there at 5-1. The Bucks at the top of the NFC South at 5-1. The Giants at the top of the NFC East at 4-2, and the Rams at the top of the NFC West at 4-2. Alrighty, so let's go to Week 7. We'll do Week 7 and 8 today, and kind of see if anything has changed. So here we go, Week 7. Alrighty, first one up is the Broncos at the Browns. And man, oh man, this is going to be a real good one. 2 good defenses, should have solid offenses. But we're going to go with the Browns here just because Baker Mayfield's been looking really good last season. And I expect him to kind of continue the steps. And, Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock, they're still solid options. But, I'm going to go with the Browns at home here. All right, Jets at the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots here. The defense alone of the Patriots should be able to handle the Jets on the road. The Jets are coming out of the bye. We forgot to. We do have to take these into consideration now that we are getting teams coming off the bye. So Jets coming off of the bye. Time to prepare against the Patriots. I'm still going to take the Patriots here. It's Bill Belichick. Robert Saleh, not really sure what he's going to do with his first bye week. Let's see, him set his own tempo of him coming out of the bye. We know we talk about Andy Reid coming out of the bye is basically undefeatable. You can't beat him. Patriots with Bill Belichick, same as well. Let's see what Robert Saleh does his first year, but we're going to have the Patriots at home. All right, Bengals, Ravens, easy here. Ravens get it done. Lamar Jackson, this should be his year. New offensive coordinator, some nice deep threat weapons. So expect the Ravens to really be on their bullshit at all times this season. Chiefs at the Titans, and I know the Chiefs are on the road, but I'm giving it to the Chiefs here. I'm really going to be a little disappointed. I think I'm going to be a little disappointed in this Titans team. This kind of saga over the last 3-4 seasons with Frank Vogel and Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. It's just been getting a little worse every single season. I think it's still going to get worse this year. We'll see if the defense of the Titans cleans it up, but Chiefs got to give it up for them. The Colts at the 49ers. The 49ers are coming off the bye. Colts on the road. Going to be a tough matchup for them, but Jimmy Garoppolo against this Colts defense, I'm going to take the Colts here. I think this Colts team can go 16-0, and I think the 49ers are going to be good coming off the bye, but man, oh man, this Colts team coming into town, you better hope you take that entire week to prepare. It's going to be a tough matchup. Texans at the Cardinals. Cardinals there all day. We're still kind of up in the air on this Texans team, so if there's dysfunction still, there's still going to be dysfunction come the time of the season. All right, a tough matchup here. Falcons at the Dolphins. Falcons coming off the bye, extra time to prepare. But the Dolphins at home, I got to give them the win, especially with their defense. I know the Falcons offense is going to be great, but we're going to rely on that Dolphins team, that Dolphins defense to get the job done. All right, Eagles at the Raiders. Going to go with the Raiders this one just because we're at home. And Nick Sirianni traveling with the team, probably not going to work out too well. Raiders protect their home stadium. Bears at Bucks, and man, oh man, I like Justin Fields, but if you have to face this Bucks defense, that's never a good time, and we're going to go with the Bucks there with the win at home. Panthers at the Giants. Giants get the win here. No real offense. I mean, they got Christian McCaffrey, but Sam Darnold's not going to be good year one. Come on, let's be real. This Giants team, they've been ready, folks. They've been prepping. They've been priming. They've been getting better every single season. And now with Saquon Barkley back full healthy, it's year 3 with Daniel Jones. Is going to be truly exciting for Giants fans, and I cannot wait. All right, Washington at Packers should be a good one. We'll go the Packers here at home, get it done. Washington's defense is going to definitely make it a challenge here, but it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. We expect him to get it done. Then the Lions at the Rams. Oh, my goodness. What about it? Let's talk about the easiest game of the week here. We'll take that. I mean, let's try to remind us here. Takes by fans. Take the Rams. Swallow the points. Whatever it is. Probably going to be like minus 14 this week. Rams minus maybe even 17. This Lions team, Dan Campbell's actually trying to get Lions on the squad. I don't know. Saints at the Seahawks. Saints coming off the bye. But this Seahawks team at home, we're going to take them with the win here. Saints, their quarterback carousel is still a little bit of a question mark, and we don't know how well these offensive weapons are going to be without Drew Brees. We know they're all good. Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, both good with Drew Brees, but now that we got either Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, are those productive weapons offensively that the Saints have, are they still going to be as productive? That's something that we're going to have to figure out, but on the road against the Seahawks team, I can't really see it. So, there it is, week 7 in the books. So let's go to week 8 and start talking winners here. All right, here we go. Dolphins at the Bills. Bills coming off the bye. Gonna give it to the Bills here. The defense should be very solid, and we knew the last time what happened with the Dolphins going into the Bills last season when they needed to win to get into the playoffs. They floundered, the biggest I've ever seen them. So we're going to give it to the Bills there. Steelers at the Browns. Steelers coming off the bye. Going to be a good one. And I'm going to call the upset here with the Steelers. We're at week 8. Big Ben's arm still should be solid here. Najee Harris should be really getting into his rhythm. Steelers coming off the bye. I think they come in and get it done with the Browns. Their defense truly gets it done. Patriots at the Chargers. Chargers coming off the bye. Chargers have this bad taste in their mouth off of last season when they got absolutely destroyed by the Patriots. And I'm going to have the Chargers replaying that game all throughout the bye, getting them ready to get revenge on the Patriots. Chargers win. Titans, Colts. Colts at home. Titans at Colts. Colts win all day, folks. Come on. No contest. No contest. Bengals at the Jets. Ooh, interesting here. We got 2 real not great teams here. And, this is a real tough one. Robert Saleh, week 8 at home. Bengals, year 2 head coach, year 2 Joe Burrow. Is he still healthy? I'm going to give a little respect to Robert Saleh here. I think he deserves this game for us to give him this game. So we'll take the Jets at home. Ooh, another good matchup here. Washington football team at the Broncos. Oof. Coming into Mile High. Going to be a good one. Like we said, this Broncos defense is solid. They are ready to rock, but so is this Washington football team. So which quarterback are we going to take? Taylor Heineke or Ryan Fitzpatrick over Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock? I'm going to take Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock over that quarterback combo. So I'm going to take the Broncos win at home. Jaguars, Seahawks, no contest here. I don't care that the Jaguars are coming off the bye. They're on the road against the Seahawks. And Urban Meyer, I don't trust him. Seahawks get the win. Rams at Texans, easy road game there for the Rams. This Texans team is trash. Giants at Chiefs. Going to choose the Chiefs here just because they're at home, but watch for the Giants to be real competitive against this Chiefs team. I think it's going to be a real good game. Packers at the Cardinals. Ooh, gonna be a good one. J.J. Watt coming across to get and swallow and eat up Aaron Rodgers. I'm taking the Cardinals at home there. 49ers at the Bears now. Ooh, should be a good one as well. Justin Fields. This Bears defense, 49ers coming on the road. Maybe now that we're in kind of the middle of the season, quarterback controversy is starting to kind of, cause a rift in the 49ers. I'm going to trust Matt Nagy here. I truly think he gets it done, and he upsets the 49ers at home. Panthers at Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons here coming off that loss against the Dolphins last week. This Panthers team, I truly don't believe that Sam Darnold is going to have that much of an upgrade over what Teddy Bridgewater did last season. I really think they're kind of stepping back of all the progress that they made. Yes, they get Christian McCaffrey back, but Teddy Bridgewater was able to kind of handle the offense besides the 2-minute drills in the red zone, like he admitted, like kind of, he was calling out of the Panthers. And Matt Rule kind of dismissed it and didn't seem like he's going to learn too much from that. So, kind of a little arrogancy there by Matt Rule maybe holds this Panthers team back a little bit. The offense of the Falcons is too much for the Panthers to overcome. Falcons get the win at home. Eagles, Lions. Lions on at home. Is it their final first win of the season? No, not at all. Not at all. Eagles on the road, doesn't matter. They get the win. Bucks at the Saints. Saints trying to get revenge off of last season's playoff loss, but it's the Bucks on the road. It's the Bucks defense versus Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston hasn't thrown an interception by week 8 and he's a starter, this is where his first interception comes from, and that sends everybody into a blitz. Is Jameis Winston reverting back to 30 for 30? And that's never going to be a good topic to kind of talk around or have, kind of focus on your team. So Bucks on the road, we get the win. And then the Cowboys at the Vikings, 2 teams coming off the bye. We're going to have the Vikings get the win. I mean, these are 2 garbage defenses that are trying to make improvements this season. I think the Vikings have the talent where the Cowboys are hoping that they play off through the draft. And like we said, I mean, they've got the who's the Falcons head coach? Ex-head coach. Dan Quinn. They got Dan Quinn as their defense coordinator. I can't trust that man. I'm going to take the Vikings here to step it up at home. So Cowboys at Vikings. Vikings get the win. Alrighty, after 8 weeks, let's see what the new standings are in the league. So the top of the AFC North is now the Steelers at 5-2. Colts are 8-0, baby. Bills at 5-2. Top of the AFC East. And the Chiefs still top of the AFC West at 8-0. Alrighty, Green Bay Packers, top of the NFC North at 6-2. Bucks at top of the NFC South at 7-1. Giants at top of the NFC East at 5-3. And the Rams top of the NFC West at 6-2. Cardinals are also 6-2, but the Rams have the tiebreaker. Alrighty, so that is kind of where we're going to leave it for today in the NFL schedule. After 8 weeks, we'll do kind of 9 and 10 tomorrow on the show. And see how everything changes as we're slowly progressing, taking it week by week here of what we believe is going to happen in this NFL season. As of right now, what are we in? January, February, March, April, May 18th. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us today. Let's see if there's anything breaking as we were live. Anything good? Breaking news. Anybody got any breaking news? It's widely believed that the NBA will expand past 30 teams to recoup losses from the pandemic. That's their solution, to add more teams to get more revenue. Seattle and Las Vegas are the front runners to add a team. Interesting. Wow. Alrighty. 32 teams in the NFL, in the NBA now. 32 teams in the NFL. We'll see. J.C. Horn will wear 8 to honor Kobe Bryant. I hate that. Oh, I'm wearing 8. I'm wearing 24 to honor Kobe Bryant. Okay, so is everybody else. Is that supposed to mean anything? All right. Alrighty. What else do we get? Any else breaking? Anything good? Good. Does not seem like it. Alrighty. That's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Play in tournament day, baby. Get mother-loving hype, folks. Get hyped. We're hyped. I cannot wait. So, alrighty, folks. We're going to be out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, live, noon Eastern. Doing it all again. The classics here at Takes by Fans. Alrighty, folks. We're out of here.